Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Newsbrowse News broadcast. Global News reports that Israel and Lebanon have agreed to a U.S.-backed ceasefire to halt fighting between Israel and Iran-backed Hezbollah. The deal, set for an initial 10 days starting April 16th, aims to facilitate broader U.S.-Iran negotiations. Under its terms, Lebanon's government, with international support, is expected to take meaningful steps to prevent Hezbollah attacks and assert its sovereignty, implicitly referencing efforts since 2025 to disarm the group. Israel retains the right to self-defense, but will refrain from offensive military operations against Lebanese targets. However, the agreement does not require Israel to withdraw from southern Lebanon, where its troops maintain a buffer zone deep inside Lebanese territory, nor does it explicitly state Lebanon's right to self-defense as a previous 2024 deal did. Hezbollah has halted fire but has not publicly endorsed the deal, insisting it must not grant Israel freedom of movement and asserting the right to resist continued Israeli presence. This follows a 2024 truce that also called for Hezbollah's disarmament, which did not fully materialize amidst ongoing Israeli strikes and a U.S. proposal in 2025 for full disarmament in exchange for Israeli troop withdrawal, which Hezbollah rejected. The article also draws parallels to a stalled Israel-Hamas ceasefire in Gaza. According to Mainichi Shimbun, Iran has officially rejected renewed talks with the United States, citing America's excessive demands and its continued reverse blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, which restricts ship movements from Iranian ports. State news agency IRNA reported on April 19th that Iran would not participate in discussions. This decision comes shortly after U.S. President Trump announced that a U.S. delegation would arrive in Islamabad, Pakistan on April 20 for talks with Iran. The rejection also coincides with the impending expiration of a 2-week ceasefire agreement between the U.S. and Iran set for April 21st, April 22 GLST. Tensions are escalating, as President Trump had previously warned that if Iran failed to comply with the agreement, the U.S. would destroy all of Iran's power plants and bridges. A French soldier, Florian Montorio, of the 17th Parachute Engineer Regiment serving with the UN Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, was killed in an attack in southern Lebanon on Saturday, April 18th, as reported by Das ISDWN. 3 other soldiers were injured, 2 seriously, when their patrol was fired upon while clearing explosives in Ganjaria village. French President Emmanuel Macron condemned the incident, stating that all indications are that Hezbollah is responsible for the attack and called on Lebanese authorities to apprehend the perpetrators. Evriad Zalohe denied its involvement. Lebanese Prime Minister Nawaf Salam and President Joseph Ayoub both condemned the attack and promised immediate investigations, emphasizing the importance of UNIFIL's safety and Lebanon's international relations. This marks the 4th UNIFIL casualty this year and occurred amidst a fragile 10-day ceasefire between Israel and Lebanon. The ongoing Iran war has led to a significant surge in aviation fuel costs, compelling major airlines worldwide to reduce their summer flight schedules. According to a report by the Epoch Times, companies such as Air Canada and Delta Airlines announced on Friday, April 18, that several routes would be affected, pointing to a potentially chaotic summer travel season. Stephen Rooney, chief economist at Tourism Economics, highlighted that aviation fuel, typically accounting for 25% to 30% of an airline's total costs, has seen its price double since the war began on February 28. This rapid increase has rendered many previously profitable routes economically unviable. Delta announced cuts to 4 routes from New York's JFK, Detroit, and Boston until September. Air Canada similarly adjusted its schedule, canceling flights between Toronto, Montreal, and JFK from June 1 to October 25. European carriers like KLM and Lufthansa are also streamlining their operations due to rising fuel expenses. Analysts note that while U.S. airlines are somewhat better off due to domestic fuel production, European airports face a more severe shortage, with reserves potentially lasting only 6 weeks. This could lead to flight delays and longer travel times for passengers flying to Europe, as planes might need to make additional stops for refueling. The Strait of Hormuz's reopening could help normalize fuel prices, but experts predict this would take weeks or even months. Al Jazeera's Digital Investigations Unit, analyzing satellite imagery, reveals Israel is rapidly expanding permanent military fortifications across the Gaza Strip, especially in Rafah. This contrasts sharply with stalled U.S.-backed reconstruction plans for the devastated city, challenging visions for a civilian-led post-war Gaza. The investigation, covering February 25 to March 15, 2026, shows that while civilian rubble removal has largely ceased, Israeli forces are systematically solidifying their military presence. Images detail extensive clearing and fortification at the Al-Muntar hilltop in Gaza City and outposts in Khan Yunis. New roads in Johor ad-Dike now connect military sites to newly leveled areas, confirming permanent outposts. These findings align with a late 2025 forensic architecture investigation, which identified 48 Israeli military sites in Gaza, 13 built after an October ceasefire, evolving into permanent bases. The U.S.-promoted new Rafah development is criticized by human rights groups as demographic re-engineering, potentially confining Palestinians to ghetto-like residential zones. Gaza's Yellow Line ceasefire boundary is also becoming a permanent border. Al Jazeera found Israel secretly moved concrete boundary markers hundreds of meters into Palestinian designated land, violating ceasefire terms. Despite the October ceasefire, violence continues, with Gaza's Ministry of Health reporting 750 deaths and over 2,090 injuries. Documentation is hindered by satellite imagery restrictions, and aid groups deem the reconstruction plan ineffective. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.